Thank you all for coming and watching. This is Brandon. Today we'll be going over some simple Joseki variations for the high approach to a 3-4 stone. Hope you enjoy it and hopefully I can teach you something. Okay, so today we're going to look at some Joseki, mostly around the 3-4 point and the high approach. So the most common one would probably be to play this one. And here white has a weakness here, and then black has a small weakness here. So both are about even. If white gets a stone here, black ignores it, then white has this peep here. Or if you block, there's this cut. And if black tries to fix that, then it's a ladder. Just not that bad because black can connect under. But white gets the outside and black is kind of sad in the corner and there is still some weakness here. So you don't want to allow this to happen. White can also play this one, which I don't really like this one very much. Because black can just Tanuki now, and then this attach is not that severe, because this is not really strong enough to do it. White would have to play here first, and then white can just slide, and the corner's alive. But it's still okay to just play here and be solid. And then white will extend here. And then now when black plays here later, there's a weakness here. So white will probably want to extend. Another move that white can do, which is a little bit complicated. There's this one here that goes into the avalanche, or white can do this to keep it simple. And as black, I prefer to play, guessing it's kind of a new move. I think AlphaGo made this popular, where black gets the corner and white gets the outside, and can make an extension here, can attach here depending on which side is more important. And there is some weakness here, but it's not that big of a deal. I would say probably like 95% of the time, this Joseki is fine. But sometimes if you want to prevent the avalanche, like so let's say white has a lot of influence on this part of the board. And so if you play here and letting him get too much influence on this side, it's not, doesn't look that great to you. You can play this one. White attaches, and you can play either the solid connection, which I think is, I like it a little bit more just because it's more solid. You can also play this one. Then he can extend 2 spaces or 3. I normally prefer 2 spaces just because it's a little bit safer. And now black doesn't really have a good extension over here, like he probably has to do 2 spaces over here. Otherwise, if he Tanukis, white can approach here, and then there's some cutting point weaknesses here. So I don't really like that one. So what I like to do here, which not everyone will agree, but I like this move. So if white goes this way, then I can go here. And remember I said white had stones over here. So he's building in a direction that he didn't want to build. And while black might not get too many points in this area because of all the white stones here, I think it's better direction for black. And if white insists on trying to get this side, then you just jump. And if white does this, if you like points, you can just do this one, and then it keeps these stones weak. Or you can push here. Feeling aggressive, you can even probably pincer. So, in my opinion, this move is pretty good. I like this move. But I only play it when I don't want white to play this one. And another variation that's it's similar. It's not really a trick play, but you can make some weaknesses here. Instead of backing off here like normal, sometimes I like to play this one, which again, I prefer this one over this one, just because I think it looks better. And it also, like the most natural looking move to play would be this one, right? Then black goes here, and now black's alive in the corner. This can't get cut off, and white has this cutting point here that he needs to fix. So if white fixes that, then black goes here, and then white makes a base. If you compare this one to this one, you can see because of this stone here, white or black has an easier time jumping in, and has a little bit more on the right side because he's playing higher. So this would be just too good for black. But you'd be surprised that even at like the dawn level, they still play this move without really thinking. Better moves would be, this would probably just playing the normal move is okay. Then black goes here, and then here, and then you see it kind of reverts back to the other one, except black gets a little bit more on the side, or the corner I mean. And then there's still some weakness here, and white or black is playing higher. If you want, you can also play a little bit farther, but I think the one space is good enough. Okay, white can also play this one, where it's a little bit too much to try and do this because of the liberty issues and weaknesses in the corner. You kind of just want to block here still, and extend again. And white probably still needs to fix the shape. If he doesn't, there's if he doesn't have the ladder, black can cut later. There's also a peep here, but it should be good for white. Like, I mean, even result, it's not terrible. White can also play this one first, which is a little bit trickier. If you play this move now, white just goes here, and then can get a really nice outside. So instead of playing here, it kind of goes back to this, and then white goes here, and then black has to play here. Then it reverts back to the other position. Kind of like this one just because it has more variation and it's just more interesting. After you play this one for a while, it gets kind of boring. And going a little bit to later stuff that could happen in the game, a lot of times you'll see white play this move. And what this move is doing is it's asking, are you going to play at A or at B? If you play at B, now this move works even better. Still this weakness here. And if you play at B to try and prevent that, now white has this move. White does die in the corner, but he got this move for free. And so now the weakness here is not as dangerous. But the drawback is now this move is not as sente. So like if there's no chance of you ever playing here, like let's just say if there's already like black stones in the area, you're not going to be able to approach here anyway. So you might as well play this probe and see if he'll play this one, which will give you some benefits over here. And if not, then you didn't really lose anything. Also with this move is you don't even have to play this right away. If you want, you can just Tanuki. And the most simple variation here would be for white to attach. Makes a base, and then black goes here. And then while this is better locally for white, you got to Tanuki somewhere. So that move you got should hopefully be bigger than what white got here. So if there's an urgent move somewhere and you really need to play there, then it's okay to Tanuki this stone. It can get kind of complicated with this one, but it's not too bad. What I normally do here is I'll just Tanuki. So if white plays here to try and kill it, black can still get out or live pretty easy. So white has to do this one, and then this is still not dead. So black can play this one, and if white is insistent on trying to capture this stone, then you can just do this. And you can see that white spent all these moves to capture one stone. And if he tries really hard to kill you, I don't know, like even something like this would be good enough. He gets a little bit more in the corner, but you're pretty strong here. You can extend up and there's still some weakness in the corner. Or if you really wanted to, you can just come back and kind of live here. But I wouldn't recommend it because white gets a nice outside. because you can see how it's similar to the other variation, except the other variation doesn't have these two stones, and instead black has this one. So it's almost like white got 2 free moves here, and then forced you to live. I would have to play something like this, and then it gets a little bit scary, but black should be able to live. Also this move, just similar to the other one, except this time black gets sente, while in the other variation black had to play here. Pincering, not really a big fan of it. Probably the most common one would be this one. There's this cut here, which leads to this long variation that I don't really like it, so I prefer to just keep it simple and do something like this. White stays weak, and then white probably has to run out here. Then you can make a base, or you can run out here, whichever is the bigger side during the game. And with Joseki, I feel like the local moves, even if they're bad for you locally, as long as it helps you globally, it's good. So before you play a Joseki, you want to look at the direction and see which direction you want to go, and then you pick a Joseki that allows you to do that. And if there is no Joseki that allows you to do that, then that's when you can be creative and try and get that direction. Which might end up horribly for you, like you might just give away too many points in the corner, but I think it's beneficial to learn how to get the direction you want. And then as you improve and get better, you'll learn how to do that without giving away too much. Also the high pincer, which here I think white just normally runs, goes here, then white can attach to stop black from connecting under, and then normally a fight will happen here. There's also this one, where here there's lots of variations, but I think this is the most popular one, I think. I haven't played in a while, so I really don't know what's considered popular anymore. And a simple way to handle this would be to just play here. White should defend the cut, and then you can escape. There's also this attach here. And then this turns into a long variation that can get pretty complicated. So I just don't recommend playing like this. Again, there's simpler ways. Even if it's lost locally, keeping it simple, I think is it makes the game easier and then less chances of mistakes. And at the amateur level, giving up a few points locally, I don't think is the difference maker in who wins or loses, especially this early when you're playing Joseki. And yeah, I think that's about it for all the simple ones, and then the ones that I just like.
And thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe learned something. And I'll see you again next Sunday.